Voila, we are live. Good evening, my beautiful and amazing people. It's your girl, Racheal Kay. And I'm right here with another exciting episode of Ladies with Stories with Racheal Kay. So if you are on this live section, please share this video. Let people know that we are live and we are happy to start with them. So, guys, please tell them we are live, okay? So if you're here, drop a comment in the section box. Let people know you are here. Let me know where you are viewing from. I can see four people. So please, the four people, I need to know where are you viewing from. Hi, Sylvia. How are you doing? Where are you viewing from? Hope your day has been good. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday and we are all excited about weekend. Weekend is here. So, it's time to think about the wedding for the week. Maybe Saturday, Sunday. My friend was at a wedding today, and I'm like, wedding today on Friday. But every day is celebration in Nigeria, and I'm glad to be a Nigerian. So, good evening, people. Please do share this video. Let people know we are live. Drop a comment. Let me know where you are viewing from, and we will get started. How are you? Have you been? How is Kaduna this afternoon, Sylvia? Sorry, this evening. I hope Kaduna is doing well. Please let your friends know we are live, okay? Hi, Ruth. How are you? Hi, Scasina. Hi, Jojo, watching from the US. How is the US of A? Hope everyone is fine. Let me share with my people on WhatsApp that we are live. So please share with your friends. Viewing from Kaduna. Hi, Kaduna. Hi, Kaduna Choma. Hi, Kaduna Ruth. Hope Kaduna is fine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Heather, my lovely sister Joanne, thank you. Thank you for my hair. It's giving. All right, guys, please drop a comment in the section box. Let people know that we are live. Hi, Anna. Happy weekend. How are you doing? It's good to have each and every one of us right here. So, if you're new to Ladies with Stories, Ladies with Stories is a platform where women share their stories with the aim of inspiring and empowering women to succeed. We do that through our fortnight live shows just like this, and through our conferences, which we might be having one pretty soon. And through other advocacy means, we do that just to let you know that you can be a better version of yourself. You can be different. You can be unique. You can be outstanding. Thank you, Ruben, my husband. Thank you, my husband. Thank you, my husband. Hi, Ilya. Good evening. Good to have you here. All right, guys. So, as I was saying, we do this just so everybody can get inspired. Our objectives are to ensure that every woman, you know, gets the confidence and, the courage to stand against any form of abuse or challenges. And we also want to let every woman know that she can be whoever and whatever she dreams of becoming. This is one of my favorite phrases, and I'm sure you've heard it over and over. It is our number two objectives on laws. So we do that just to know that you can be whoever, whatever, mentorship, storytelling, career part, and things like that. And the third objective is to help less experienced ladies transition into womanhood. There are a lot of things you need to learn as a lady. There are a lot of things you need to know that after adolescent and the rest of them, there are a couple of challenges that you encounter or we encounter along the way. So it is our responsibility to help you and guide you through the process. So if you are yet to share this video, please share it. If your friend is yet to know about laws, take this as an opportunity to tag her and tell her laws is life. This is what this platform is all about. So please share this video and we'll bring up our story for today. Okay. Are you happy to be here? If you are, please drop a comment. Last week we had Miracle, and Miracle is preparing for her longest barbecue marathon. I hope you all support her when it's time. And before you know it, we'll have a star right here in Kaduna. Before we do anything serious today, we will go on a quick break, and once we return, we'll bring up our guest for tonight. Okay, stay glued. Welcome back. It's your baby girl, Racheal Kay, and we are right on another episode of Ladies with Stories with Racheal Kay. So I'll be reading our guest biography for you before we bring her story up for you to all watch and learn from it. Mercy Undubisi is a young Nigerian child born and brought up in Nigeria. She is passionate about bringing change to the world, to her community, and to everyone around her, especially the girl child. Mercy holds a master's in public administration and BSc in political science with enormous professional certification. She's the founder of Miriam Ujunwa Girls Foundation, an organization focused on solving period poverty, education on reproductive health, menstrual hygiene, sex education, and women's rights. She's she's birthed the African Phenomenal Representative Leaders, where she advocates for the girl child globally. This has brought her many recognitions and awards, such as Humanitarian Global Awards Ghana, UK Women Awards India, Young African Women Lead Awards. Mercy is a member of the G100, holding the position of country chair under the Human Rights and Dignity. She is a member of Transform Education, hosted by UNGEI members. She's also a member of Girl Up Nigeria. She's an ambassador to UK, India. She's the coordinator of Equal Trade Alliance Women Ambassadors. She has served as a social worker at numbers volunteered at a number of organizations. Mercy is excited to bring her story to us this evening. And I hope we are all ready for her because she is an amazing personality. So before we bring the story, I will want to use this moment to thank She Unites Africa, the platform which gave us Mercy. So we'll be collaborating with She Unites Africa to bring some stories to you across Africa. So we have people around the world that will be sharing their stories with us in the coming months. And please, if you are yet to follow She Unites Africa, please do well to follow She Unites Africa. So Mercy's story is one that is amazing. And we had a recording with Mercy this morning at 4 a.m. I had a recording with her because she's going for night shift, so she won't be able to join us live on the live video, but she might be in the comment section. So watch out for Mercy. So please stay glued to your screen as we share our video for today. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Mercy, for joining us. This is Ladies with Stories, where women share their stories with the aim of inspiring and empowering other women to succeed. And I am so grateful to have you on the platform today to share your story with us. And you have such an amazing profile. And I'm sure our community members cannot wait to learn what your story is all about and how you got to where you are. So please feel free and share your story with us.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anywhere you are in the world. My name is Queen Mercy in the BC. I'm from Nigeria and I live in Nigeria. Okay. I will start from saying I'm a graduate of political science from the Godfrey Okoye University. I hold a master's degree in public administration from Kepi State University. But currently, I'm a professional customer service officer. This is my 10 years in being in customer service. I'm the
Wow.
founder of the Miriam Ujunwa Girls Foundation. Also, I founded the African Phenomenal Representative Leaders. The Miriam Ujunwa is a name I got from my immediate younger sister. I would say she has been an inspiration going from 2020 when I founded the foundation, despite all the ups and downs. Any day I remember her, I see her pictures, I just keep going. Letting the world or anybody that hears my voice to know that 80% of sexual abuse come from family members.
Mm,
Years back, I will take you back to 1999. Then I will say I'm a Nigerian because I was born in Benue State, but I grew up in Niger State. So during the 90s, we stayed in Niger State, and my mom was that humanitarian who wanted to give shelter and help her niece and nephews. So I had a lot of niece and a lot of cousins rather staying in my house. So August 1999, my immediate younger sister was very sick. My mom wasn't home, my dad wasn't home, but I had uncles and aunties that were home. So they took her and rushed her to the hospital. And later in the evening, they came back with the news that she's dead. Nobody told us what happened. We didn't know what led to her death, but we knew she has been sick. So she was later buried, and few weeks, or will I say few months down, we got to find out that she has been sexual abused repeatedly, unknown to any of us, unknown to my parents. And we got to find out that the abuser was my senior cousin who was living with us at that time. So the story was so devastating that my mom had to let all her niece and nephew leave the house. And the doors of my home was shut down. It was just I and my siblings. I remember my grandmom telling us those years that this was a dent and a stain to the family name and we shouldn't speak about it. So her pictures was taken off the walls of my home. Her clothing was taken off, her shoes, school bag, school materials was taken away. We didn't know where they were, but we knew they were nowhere to be found again in our room. But years back, after my BSc, and of course the National Youth Service Corps called the NYSC is a 1 year service you give to the country after your BSc. I ventured into pageantry. Yes, I'm an S beauty queen, and I have a lot of crowns I've won over the years. Part of our responsibility as beauty queens is service to humanity. So I chose to talk about menstruation and menstrual hygiene. But 2019, I was invited by another beauty queen by name Grace to Kogi State, and the venue was Kogi State University, and the topic was on sexual abuse on campus. And Kogi State was just a neighboring state to the Federal Capital Territory where I live. So I attended the program. And while I was on that program, I met another lady. Her name is Barrister Tony, and she spoke about her experience of abuse by her uncle, who she called dad, from when she was 8 to when she was 16.
mm,
So after the program, I met her and I told her my own story. And she, at that point, she started crying and she wished my sister survived it. And which every day, whenever I remember her, I wish she also survived it. I could have been happier if she was alive while I'm telling the world her story, or she could tell the story herself, or we could tell the story together. And she said, since you're already advocating from your crown as a beauty queen, let's open a platform, an NGO, let's pick from a foundation. She said she will help me get it ready start. And I agreed. Lucky for me, we both stayed in the Federal Capital Territory. So we came back to Abuja together. We exchanged contacts and started talking. So we started the process of registering the Miriam Ujuma Girls Foundation. But 2020 lockdown, the COVID-19 and all that, we had to pause. But after the lockdown, we continued. And at the end, the Miriam Ujuma Girls Foundation came into existence. And I've been telling anybody or everyone who sees my platform or hears my voice that 80% of sexual abuse is from family member. I remember growing up, we were always told to be careful of that uncle on the street, that auntie on the street, that stranger on the street. But our parents forgot the home. I think probably because they were not aware that abusers also wear family faces. Because if they do, they will start their advocacy from the home. Um, be careful and put an eye to what cousins are doing with their cousins. But I will not blame it on them. They were ignorant of it. So I also advocate on menstruation and menstrual hygiene from my platform. And also that same COVID-19 lockdown, I was at home, I wasn't doing anything. We are just at home with our phones. And I came across a Facebook account by a South African. Her name is Abongile Hwaza. And I was impressed by what she was doing. So I thought of chatting her up and I had the mind that she was not going to reply me. But she did. And she turned out to be a very sweet and a nice lady. And she optioned we talk from WhatsApp instead of Facebook. And I agreed to that. So we started talking from WhatsApp. We started doing online webinars on menstruation and menstrual hygiene. But a thought came to me that all this while I've always thought that period poverty was the Nigerian problem. But meeting someone from South Africa, I got to find out that it is not a Nigerian problem. It is not a South African problem. It's a global issue and should be treated globally. So I just asked her, what if we bring in other ladies from other African countries? Since Africa, we all share the same problem. And she agreed. And she said, I know someone from Malawi, I know someone from Zimbabwe, I know someone from Zambia. Let's start with the ones we know. And as of then, I already know someone from Tanzania. So just the five of us, we started and we decided to call the group the African Phenomenal Leaders. And that was how the African Phenomenal Leaders was bettered. We are individual young ladies from different African countries with registered NGO advocating for menstruation and menstrual rights and ways we can eradicate period poverty in Africa. Thank you so much.
Eventually led to the death of her sister. And we really do, sympathize with her, and just, to let everyone know that abusers are also members of the household. So we all need to take precautionary measures. All right, Mercy. I'm just going to ask you questions from what you have shared with us. At what point did you guys discover it was your cousin who molested your sister?
Okay, I can't actually say at what point. I was just 12 months older than her. So we are little children.
Mm.
Mine, a lady that wasn't sent back to the village, that he was the one according to her, that she overheard the seniors, she overheard our parents talking about it, that he was the one that abused her. That was so, but it wasn't too long she was buried that we got to find out. I think God didn't want the reputation of it to happen, because at that point I had 4 female siblings. Currently I have, no, I have 3 female siblings, sorry, that is including I 4. Currently I have 2 female siblings. So I think God has seen the heart of man and didn't want that to repeat itself, and made
Mm.
my parents to find out on time so he will be sent back to the village. So it was just within few months of after she was buried that he was that we got to find out that he was the devil living in the family.
Okay, so sorry about that. And where is your cousin today?
And I really don't care where he is today, but from that, let me say 20, from that 1999 up till date, I don't want to be the winch here, but he has not been doing well. And my family has not really been, we don't really care what happens with him and his family. We just closed that chapter and we don't want to talk about them. Like, it's so painful that till today, their names are not mentioned in my family. Nobody wants to talk about them. Nobody wants to remember them. And for the fact I already took the name Miriam Ujunwa from my foundation, is now a recurrent name, Miriam Ujunwa, in my home. So it's enough pain for my mom when she hears the name of my foundation. So we don't talk about
Wow.
them in the family.
So sorry about that once again. And was the case ever reported to the police or it was just handled within the house?
It was handled within the family. I don't like to wish, but when this whole thing happened, we were little kids. My
Mm.
parents didn't even know what to do. And during the 90s is still when people were still brainwashed that it's a family secret. They were told it's a family secret and keep it as a secret. We are told is a stain on the family name.
Mm.
We are told it's a taboo and it should remain a taboo and we shouldn't speak about it. 28 years later, that's when I started speaking about it. And I was warned rather, not to go back to the village to look for him and start digging out issues that happened in the 90s. I should allow my dead sister rest. I can do my advocacy and talk about it, but I shouldn't go to the village to speak about it.
Okay, and how did they receive the news when you said speaking about your sisters there being a taboo? So now that you decided, okay, you'll be talking about it, you even have a foundation about it. What's the reception like?
They always pretend like they don't know who she was or if it ever happened. That's just the pretense around them.
So up to now, your parents still act like it doesn't happen even after hearing your foundation, or did they react negatively to you telling you, okay, don't talk about this, just let it be, let people not find out because now you have called her name. Now they know that this is your sibling. Now they know that this is your family member. So is it no longer a taboo?
To my parents, they don't want to like shut me down. Okay, growing up, I've always been the stubborn sibling. Before my mom started having boys, I was the tomboy in the house. I didn't want to
Mm,
wear skirts. I didn't want to wear earrings. I didn't want to make my hair. So I've always been stubborn growing up. So when I took up the name, they just told themselves, my native name is Ifenyinwa, and they always tell themselves, ah, if he is the stubborn one, just allow her do what she wants to do. Let me also add that my family is mixed. I'm from the southeast. I'm also from the northeast. My grandma is from Bauchi, Nigeria. So some persons would look at me and think I'm Fulani. So one day my dad cracked a joke and said I have the blood of the Fulanis because I'm a very stubborn person. So they didn't want to shut me down or shut me off from using the name. But whenever the name is mentioned, there is this silence in the house. There is this sympathy on everybody's face whenever the name is being mentioned. But so far, so good. They've been very supportive. I will say that my family has been the greatest support system I've had in terms of finances, most especially, and giving me ideas. And they always make sure
Mm.
that my family has been the number one. Funny enough, my younger brother, who was still a baby when it happened, is the secretary to my NGO and does a lot for the NGO. Why my
Oh,
youngest brother wasn't even born when it happened. So we just showed him pictures. And the first day we showed him pictures, he dropped some little tears and said, I wish I've met her.
yeah.
But like they say, wishes are not horses. So they don't like the name being mentioned, but they've grown up to live with it.
If wishes were horses, we wish he had seen her and met her. I'm sure they would have been best of friends. But we thank God everything, like they say, works for good. And we hope that through her death, many will be saved and many will be rescued. Have you been able to interview or have you been able to have conversations with people who are going through such situations or who have been through such situations?
I've been able to, but that wasn't physical. It was
Okay.
online. I've met one person in Nigerian. I've met another person from Tanzania. And the recent person I met is from India. And she said she has outgrown it. She's speaking about it. She will tell you, I was abused as a kid.
Oh,
And I told her it takes a great strength
to
to
speak
say
out.
what you just did. And she said, yes, that through her stories, lots of families have been saved.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yes, I've met victims. The first victim I met was my barrister Tony.
Mm.
And she also has a foundation on abuse. And she has even locked up some I would prefer to use the name animals behind bars for what they did. She's really doing an amazing job with her NGO. So yes, I've met victims.
we we hope that many more human beings that have decided not to be human beings will be locked up the same way others are locked up too. And it's a desire that more women will be liberated from such abuse because on a daily basis, children and women are being abused around the globe. So this is something that you hear, and only very few people are able to gather the courage to tell you this is my story, this is what I've been through, which because it's a hard thing. There's always stigmatization. We always stigmatize people
Yeah,
that have been abused, which
yeah,
is the reason why so many people cannot come out. And just like your own family, so many people are also saying, "Oh, it's a taboo. The family name it needs to be protected." And you just keep protecting things like that. And the more you protect, the more you have victims because this person goes on to do it to another person because he was never called out because he was never told, okay, this is not supposed to be, there are consequences for your actions. But I'm just glad that you have taken the courage and the step to do what you are doing. So let's move on to your organization. At this point of your work, how can you say or what can you say about the poverty eradication when it comes to menstrual health? Do you think Africa is at that point where we can say we have attained um menstrual hygiene to its maximum capacity? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Mercy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I think Mercy is having some network issues, and once she gets back, she'll answer the question. But if you're just joining us, Mercy was talking about her sister's experience of abuse. She was abused by her brother, which was her cousin brother, who was living with them. And, her sister Miriam bled and died, and they only discovered she was raped severally, or she was abused severally by that cousin of hers 3 days or some few days after she was buried. And the brother was sent back to the village, and the family decided to close the chapter concerning her sister because it was regarded as a taboo. And, Miriam has taken, sorry, Queen Mercy has taken the bold step of, sharing her sister's story and advocating for justice for women, for the girl child, and protecting the girl child, and letting people know that abusers are also members of the household. We look outside sometimes, forgetting there are members of the household that have been abused. Because in Africa, we have the culture of bringing everybody into the house, trying to see that everyone is is staying with us. Just, you're trying to help, especially when you're a big man or a rich person. You definitely have those kind of cousins and other relatives coming to stay with you. I hope through her story we're able to draw strength and advocate more that, please, parents, check through your houses, especially when you have male cousins. Check on your daughters, check on them to be sure that everything is going on well with them. And I hope. Hi, Mercy, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back.
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you able to answer the last question, or would you want me to repeat it again? Are you able to answer the question? If Africa has attained if Africa has attained its poverty eradication and menstrual hygiene health at the moment?
No, I didn't answer that.
Okay, are you able to answer that for us, please?
Okay. I don't think Africa is at the stage of to eradicate period poverty. I will say that corruption is a big problem in Africa. In fact, there's corruption in every tiny corner in our society. Currently, we are starting up a campaign that says the hashtag is end tax, as in tax free period. The Nigeria hashtag is end Niger tax on menstrual products. That is the
Okay.
hashtag. So we are not yet in the state. to eradicate period poverty. Currently, the sanitary pad keeps increasing every day. As of this month, I bought a sanitary pad for 2,000,
Ooh.
2,000, and I was able to afford this because I'm working. And whenever I go to buy sanitary pad, I always ask myself, what about those that are not working? What about those from the rural communities? What about that little girl that the family sees menstrual materials as a luxury? Because there are some communities in Nigeria that I've spoken to that I got to find out that they see period materials as luxury. So no, Nigeria or Africa is not yet in the stage to eradicate period poverty. And as long as there is still tax on menstrual materials, the materials will keep increasing, the prices keep increasing every day. So my answer is a no, we are not yet in that stage yet.
Okay. And what's the future for your organization? Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
I see my organization, both the Miriam Ujuma Girls Foundation and the African Phenomenal Representative Leaders, in every corner of Africa, every corner in every village in Africa, every state in Africa, where we'll be distributing sanitary wares. Even if the government will not listen to our plead on removing the tax on menstrual materials, we believe in God's grace that we can able to get donations, even from donations from ourselves, donations from family, and able to monthly distribute sanitary wares to those who can't afford it. So in the couple of years, I always say is God's grace, because everything we are doing, even my life, is God's grace. With God's grace, we will be distributing sanitary wares in all corners of Africa.
And does your organization plan on, doing the reusable sanitary towels, so that they can, avoid or reduce the prices and make it affordable for everyone to have?
Yes, we've thought about that, but I have my reservation about usable sanitary wares. Um, Based on my research, no, based on my outreach to villages in my communities, from what I've seen from IDP camps, I've been there so many times. From what I've seen from rural areas in where I've been to, I found out that water is a problem, and the stigma is still an issue in our communities. And
Mm,
those two usable pads are products we have to wash
every
and
day.
dry them outside. So for those communities who lack clean waters, how would they keep it clean? And for those
Mm,
little girls who still feel shy to even keep their pants outside for sun to touch it, how am I sure they're going to dry those pads outside for sun to disinfect infections? So yes, we are working on it, but I still have my reservations, because
okay.
while we are trying to fight A, we should also be careful with B. Let B
Mm,
not be a greater issue. Because if those
absolutely.
materials are not handled well, if they are not be cleaned, it leads to infection. So
Absolutely.
I
You're
am
right.
scared of the infection that comes with not keeping it clean. So that is still my reservation about those materials. That is why I'm coming up with the campaign to remove tax from period materials.
All right, that sounds like an absolute true reservation, because I know indeed there are communities that don't have clean waters to wash those sanitary towels. And if not washed properly, it could lead to another infection or diseases and stuff like that, which is right. And do you plan to collaborate with more organizations in Africa and also outside of Africa, or do you just want to stay in Africa alone?
I want to be in Africa. My love for Africa. I want to be in Africa. But if I get other organizations outside Africa, I don't mind. But my focus is Africa.
All right, the African child. We hope and we pray that, your desire to grow your organization in Africa becomes a reality, that it gets bigger and better. Thank you so much, Queen Mercy, for being on our show today. We are so grateful and glad to have you. And we pray that your story would have inspired at least one woman or one family to watch out for their children, and one lady to know that she can start up something through her own experience or her family's experience. It doesn't have to be her in particular, but there are messages around us that we can join the advocacy through what we see and what we know. Thank you so much for being on the show, and we hope to see you another time. Thank you. My people, thank you so much for staying through with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a very long, very long morning for me. I've been up since 4 a.m. Trying to get the recording and trying to try to adjust it, but it wasn't working. So you could see some parts were skipping. But I hope you were able to get the message that abusers are also members of your household. Abusers are members of your household also. So that abuser on the street belongs to another person's family. And the more we speak about things like this, the more we create the awareness. You don't have to wait for it to be your own family member. You can speak out for another person. And even among the family members, I don't know, our parents are not usually on this platform on Ladies with Stories, because it's more for young people. But this is a message for even the young parents that are here, that you should put an eye on your child. If you were to tell yourself the truth, among your peers when you were growing up, you would have known that one or two of those uncles that you call uncle was touching somebody there. And just because we were not allowed to speak out or just, talk about it freely, it was a taboo. So those uncles took advantage of it. I was privileged of recent, about 3 4 days ago. I went out and I met this lady. She was telling me a story, or they were telling me her story. She was abused, or let's say molested, by her father, who was her grandfather, because her grandfather was sleeping or married his daughter. So her father married, no, her grandfather married her mother. In other words, father married his daughter, and the abuse continued, and now the grandfather transferred it to his granddaughter, and it continued. Where's the mother today? She's been locked up in jail. Why? Because she never spoke out. So the truth is, when we don't speak out, when things like that are happening, there is a possibility that this abuse will be extended to the next person, to your own child, to another person's child. So please, abuse is a no and a no. When you see it, you call it, you say it. If you cannot say it to anybody, teach your children that nobody touches their private parts. Nobody does anyhow with them. And when they do that, they should report to you. They should report to you. That is what you should do. And as a good parent, try to put a watching eyes on your kids. And I hope at the end of the day, we are inspired to take the possible right steps, right actions, show love, show concern, be there for people, cut out on the family taboos and tradition. Don't make your family a cage where abuse is, appreciated there. I will see you next week. No, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully, we will be back with another story. Forgive us for our internet connections today. We're not the best of it, but we do what we need to do, not to give room for excuses, not to give room for slack. Oh, the internet was bad, so we canceled the show. We're not going to do that. We will keep pushing, because it is something common to us in Nigeria. Our networks are not always good. So we'll keep pushing until the day we become perfect. So I am sorry, and I'm grateful to those who were able to stay through. Thank you, because you make it possible for us to keep showing up and giving ourselves a reason, for the 5 people, for the 7 people, for the 10 people, for the 14 people, for the 20 people that keep showing up. We say thank you. But we'll keep pushing, and one day we know the story will be bigger and better. I love and celebrate you guys. See you next upper week with another exciting episode. If you have any question for Mercy, please drop it in the comment section. She'll be coming around after her shift and she's going to go through the chat box to reply some of the questions that have been asked or that are going to be asked about. Thank you and see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye. All right, guys. Good night, and please we'll drop a review form in the comment section. Please, if you can, please help us and fill that review form. It's just to let us know you are following up, you're learning. It won't take. It's just 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. You fill it, so we can keep track on what we need to do to improve and what you're learning, and just to get to satisfy you better. I love you. Bye.